Why does the marketing for my trade business feel so expensive? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you why it's not expensive and why it's actually really cheap. I'm going to go through this quite quickly, go through a few basics as well, but I'm going to show you why trade businesses are marketing themselves, how they're making money from it, and how you can too, okay? So in this video, you're going to learn about that. Stay tuned till the end. So the first thing we need to go over is how we view it in our heads, because I'm not going to go over any like stupid mindset shit, but you know, you have to view it in a certain way for you to be able to stick with it and actually grow from it and make money from it, because it does take a while. It's marketing. You have to test, you have to stick with it while you might not be making money. But the first thing you need to realize is that marketing is an investment, okay? As opposed to something like a cost, it's an investment. So what I mean by this, you know, cost is stuff that you're going to spend your money on, you're never going to see it again. You don't expect to make money from it. But an investment, you put in the money, right? And you expect what? You expect to get more money out of it. So it's an investment. And you've got to realize with marketing, even when it doesn't feel profitable, you feel like you're just throwing money at the wall, throwing money at Meta. You know, you got to understand you're not wasting your money there. You're buying data, okay? Seeing what's working, what's not working, you know, what messaging is working, what copy is working, what images are working, what videos are working, everything like that. Like what ads are working and which ones aren't, and which ones can I scale and which ones can I not. Okay, that's what you're buying. You're buying the data to find out what's actually going to work for your specific business, your area, your trade, everything like that. That's what you're paying for in the beginning, okay? So even when it doesn't feel profitable, you just have to stick with it. Otherwise, it's never going to work for you. You're never going to grow if you don't be patient and actually trust the process with the ads, okay? But I'm not going to sit here and tell you like, okay, it's going to work in this amount of time. Like, it's not going to work in the first 2 weeks, the first month. It might work really well when you first start, but you know, it is something that takes time. It takes skill, okay? So marketing is a skill. You can't just throw money at Meta and expect jobs to come out of it, okay? High quality leads. You have to know what you're doing, have the right systems in place, the right funnels, things to actually turn the leads into jobs, as well as things to actually get the leads, such as the ads, how good your messaging is, how good your marketing is, everything like that, okay? It is a skill, but the good thing is it's a lot easier to get leads when you're targeting, you know, a specific local area, okay? And that's what you're going to be doing if you are a trade business. You're obviously going to target your service area. It's a lot easier to market to, you know, local areas because there's already so much trust there. If you literally live like 10 minutes away from them, they're already going to have trust compared to someone that's just advertising to the whole UK. You know, there's already a lot of trust with local business, so that's the good news, but you still do have to know what you're doing with the marketing, with the system behind it, to actually get good results from it, get jobs out of it, okay? So I'm just going to tell you straight up whether this is going to be for you or not, okay? So this is not going to be for you if you're just looking for a get-rich-quick method, as I say. It's not instant results, it's not like anything like that. It takes time, as I said before. If you're looking for that, it's not going to be for you. You might as well not even do it. Second one, if you aren't actually willing to invest into your business, into your marketing, to see change, to see growth, because if you want to stay where you are, okay, you might be relying on word of mouth or recommendations, whatever it is, and it doesn't cost anything to do that, so it's comfortable to stay there. So if you do want to stay there, fine, but just know that it's not going to grow. You're never going to get any more clients than what you're currently getting right now, okay? If you do want to grow, if you do want to see change, then you have to change what you're doing right now, which is investing into marketing, taking an uncomfortable decision and actually going with it. Because if you don't, you're just going to be stuck where you are. We have to make a change in order to get different results, okay? And the third thing is going to be, if you're looking for like guaranteed results, then this isn't going to be for you either, because at the end of the day, it's marketing. And yes, if you are good at marketing, you have the skill, then it's going to be much more likely that you get results. But you still have to test. No matter how good at marketing you are, you have to test different ads, and especially in the first 2 weeks, the first month, you know, you might not get any results at all. You might get really good results, but you might not get any. And as I said before, you're buying data, okay? So don't expect to get guaranteed results, especially in the first sort of 2 weeks to a month. Don't expect anything there. So if you're looking for guaranteed results, quick money, or if you don't actually want to invest in your business to see change, then this isn't going to be for you. I'd say go and kind of stick to what you're doing now, try and find something else if there is. Go and check a trade. This isn't going to be what you want to be doing if you apply to any of these, okay? But I'm going to tell you, this is going to be for you if you do actually understand that it takes time to see results, as I said before. If you want to invest in your business to get more clients consistently, then this is going to be for you. If you want to actually grow your business, if you have a plan to scale, then this is going to be the right decision for you if you're prepared to invest into your business, into your marketing, to actually make a change in the way you're getting clients, okay? And the third one, if you are willing to be patient and trust the process, as I mentioned before, then this is also going to be for you, okay? So I want to give a quick rundown of kind of how Meta ads work. So if you know this, you can skip past it, but if you don't, basically you make an ad, right? You make an ad and you pay Meta. This is the ad spend, okay? So I'd recommend around, if you're going to do lower than £20, you might as well not even do it, because you're not going to get any real data. You're not going to get any results to actually be confident and scale, to be able to gauge like what's actually working and what's not. So minimum £20, okay? Minimum, all right? And up to, I'd say, if you're starting out, do like £30 to £50. So that works out around 900 to 1,500 a month in just ad spend alone, okay? So basically, you're going to create the ads, you're going to pay Meta an ad spend, and Meta's going to show your ads to different people, obviously the people that you're actually targeting. Again, if you have good creative and good copy that's targeting the right type of people, then that's who Meta's going to show it to. Obviously, Meta's testing as well who to show it to. So not only are you testing which ads are working, Meta's also testing who to show your ads to. So say it shows your ads to the same ad to 3 different people, and one of them clicks on the ad. So Meta's going to be like, okay, this guy clicks on the ad, let me try and find more people like this guy. So first of all, he's going to click on the ad. So from his side, he's going to be like, okay, click on the ad, read through the copy, look at the images. Does this sound something that relates to me? Does it sound interesting? Is it something I want to move forward? Is this something I'm looking for? Okay, so this is going to be what's known as the click-through rate. Okay, so him seeing the ad is the impression. So you might have seen that these terms before, but if you haven't, basically an impression is when someone sees your ad. Okay, and the click-through rate is how many people clicked onto the ad, how many people that saw your ad actually clicked on it. That's the click-through rate. And then from there, once he clicks on it, he's going to get presented with a lead form, which he can choose to fill out or to not fill out again. Okay, so the lead form, as I've mentioned in other videos, but basically you want to be asking the qualifying questions to make sure they're qualified initially. Doesn't need to be anything too crazy, just 3 simple questions. Are you the homeowner? Budget? Time frame? That could be 3 questions right there. But he's going to decide if he wants to fill that out. If he's serious, he will fill it out. So that's how you know if the lead is qualified, if they go ahead and fill this out and they go to the next step. Once he fills out that form, he's going to then be officially a lead according to Meta. So this is once the lead comes through. Once he submits the form, he is now a lead, okay? So with that, now it's in your hands, okay? So this is where the system comes into place, how you're actually dealing with the leads that come through. So the lead is then going to be, whatever that process is, the next step is going to be to book a quote or appointment or a call, like whatever the next step is for your business specifically. It's normally like a site visit or an appointment. So they're going to need to book that interview. That's the next step. So they decide if they want to do that, if they don't want to do that. The thing that decides that is going to be how good the system is behind the actual ads themselves, because it's all well and good having the leads. You need something to actually convert these leads into money, okay, into jobs. So after that, then once you've quoted the job, then they're going to decide, do I want to pay this guy, do I not want to pay him? And this is going to be highly dependent on your close rate, how good you are at actually closing the people after you quote the jobs. But also obviously you want higher quality leads, which is why this step is so important. The funnel, basically, the lead form, landing page, how you deal with the leads. As soon as they get in touch, you want to contact them straight away. This is the most important part here in order to decide how many of them you're going to close. But it's also, what sort of sales process you have in place, everything like that. But this is going to be your closing percentage. So realistically, it's going to be around 30%. You might have seen higher numbers if you rely on recommendations and referrals, because that comes from warm traffic. They're much warmer leads and a lot easier to close. This is coming from social media, so it's cold. They are technically warm leads because they've given you permission to contact them. So you're not just, going knocking on doors or cold calling. This is a warm lead because they've got in touch with you, but it's still coming from cold traffic, which is social media. So it's not like organic content, social media content. This is a paid ad, so it's still classified as cold traffic. So realistic close rates I normally see is around 30%. So as long as you're confident you can close at around 30%, you'll be able to turn 30% of booked appointments into jobs, okay? So that's kind of an overview on how the ads actually work in terms of the structure. But now we're going to get into some realistic sort of numbers you can expect and why the marketing is actually cheap. You might have seen these numbers. You might have been like, that's quite a lot, or you might have been, that's really cheap. Either way, I'm going to go through the numbers and show you why it's not a lot and what you can actually expect to get from it, okay? Okay, so the big rule of thumb with marketing is that if you can get a 3-to-1 gross profit to CAC ratio, so CAC meaning cost of acquiring a customer, gross profit is obviously how much you make on the job after materials, labor, whatever it is. If you can get a 3-to-1 gross profit to CAC, then you have a profitable way to scale your business, okay? You basically have a money printing machine at this point. So for example, if there was like a machine and it has a button and you can basically put in £1 into the machine and it spits back out £3. If I was to ask you like, okay, how many times are you going to put £1 into this machine? You're going to say as many times as possible, right? You're going to push this button as many times as you can because you've got a way of putting in £1 and getting out £3 in profit. So you can be like, okay, what if I want to put £3 in the machine? So now you're going to get £9 out of it, okay? So this is what can happen once you have profitable ads, okay? Once you've tested, once you've stuck with the process, if you can get at least a 3-to-1 gross profit to CAC ratio, then you literally have a money printing machine for your trade business, okay? 3-to-1, if you can get that, then you have a profitable, scalable way to grow your business. So I'm just going to use an example of a roofer, okay? So this can actually work for any trade business right here, but I'm just going to go over a roofer for now. Say he does a range of jobs, say he does like repairs, replacements, guttering. You want to go with your highest value service. That's the one that you want to market, the one that you get the most money from, okay? This might seem self-explanatory, but say a repair, he gets like £500 to £1,000 out of it, and for a roof replacement he can get around say 8k to ups of like 30k for a roof replacement if it's a really big job. But say on average 10k for a roof replacement, and let's say he's working with even 20% gross profit margins, so 2k. All right, so once you've got that, you can just do this for your trade business, whatever the highest value job is, go with that. That's the one you want to be marketing. Obviously target a bit more upmarket if you want to be charging more. What I mean by upmarket is people that are going to have more money, that are going to be able to afford it. So richer areas. That's the kind of things you want to be targeting. You want to be targeting more upmarket, so you can actually charge higher prices. But whatever your highest value job is, whatever you get the most money from, that's the thing that you want to market, okay? So in this example, it's going to be the roof replacements. Charges 10k in revenue and gets 2k gross profit, okay? So let's say this guy goes ahead and spends 1,500 on his first month in ad spend. So it's going to be £50 a day for 30 days, works out at 1,500. Okay, so he spent 1,500 for the month. And let's say even at, I don't know, £50 cost per lead, so he's getting 1 lead a day for 30 days, costing him £50 per lead, okay? He's going to get 30 leads in that month, okay? And it's okay, and by the way, it's okay if your cost per lead is high, if these leads are all qualified, okay? So let's assume he gets 30 qualified leads, and that costed him £50 for each of those leads. So 30 qualified leads in a month, costing £50 a day, spent 1,500, 30 qualified leads, let's say even 15 of them, 15 quotes from 30 leads, let's say there's like 3 no-shows or like cancellations. So let's try and be realistic. 12 actually attended, and out of that, say we're assuming a 30% close rate again, it's going to be 4 jobs that he gets out of those 30 leads. So if we take the numbers that we got from before, that's going to be 4 times 10k, it's going to be 40k in revenue, and then the gross profit margin of 20%, it's going to be 8k in gross profit from those 4 jobs. So if we take that and we say, all right, made 8,000 in gross profit and we spent 1,500, that leaves us with 6,500 in gross profit, right? So that's just the amount he's adding on to his profit each month. But if we go ahead and see, okay, if we relate back to what I said before, so we want a 3-to-1 gross profit to cost of acquiring a customer. So first of all, let's work out what the CAC was. So cost of acquiring a customer for this guy, let's see, so spent 1,500 and we got 4 customers out of it, 4 jobs. So we can work that out by doing 1,500 divided by 4, 375, okay? So 375 is the cost of acquiring a customer. So what this means is he's paying £375 for a job, okay? So you can give Meta £375 and out of it you can get a job worth 10k. And his gross profit for each customer, we already know that that was 2,000. If we plug that into the ratio, we've got 2,000 to 375. Now, as long as this is over 3-to-1, then we've got a scalable business, okay? So to work this out, we just do 2,000 divided by 375, and that gets us around 5.33, okay? So what we've done, 5.33 to 1 gross profit to CAC, okay? 5x return on ad spend isn't too crazy, like, but, you know, trying to be realistic here just to show you. So what this means with our machine is that we put in £1 and we get out £5.33, okay? So say you're running ads first month, you spend 1,500, you get 4 jobs out of it. If a job is worth £2,000 for you, then you spent £1 and got out £5.33. So the natural thing to do from here is be like, okay, I want to put in £2 into the machine, and out of it I should get £10.66. Okay, so this is what we can do in month 2. Okay, so month 1 we spent 1,500 on ads, so we go ahead and put in £3,000 this month into ads, so £100 a day once we've actually got that data from the first month. So 3,000. Still same cost per lead, we get 60 qualified leads, 30 appointments, 30% close rate is 10 jobs, 10 times 2k gross profit is 20,000. So we spent 3,000 and gross profit is 17,000. First month we got a gross profit of 6,500, and the second month we scaled it and we got a gross profit of 17,000. Okay, so this just shows like once you have data, once you've tested, once you have an ad that actually works, can produce that over a 3-to-1 GP to CAC ratio, then we can scale this and basically went from adding £6,000 to 17,000 just by having that data there and being able to confidently scale it, okay? Okay, so you might be wondering like, okay, those results seem too good to be true, or why doesn't everyone do it if it's so easy? Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not easy, okay? So the big 3 things why people don't do it is number 1, fear. So being scared to change, scared to actually take the leap, invest, and obviously wait long enough to see it start working, okay? So a lot of people don't even do the first step of going ahead and spending the money on marketing because they're so comfortable in the current position. Even though they can't grow the business, they just stay in their position, they're comfortable. They want to change, but they want all the rewards without any of the downsides, okay? So the downsides being you have to invest, you have to wait, you have to be willing to lose money in the beginning to see better results come out of it, okay? So the number 1 thing is people are scared to actually make a change, to actually do something new, to see new results or get a different outcome. So it's quite simple. You literally just have to take that leap. And the only time we grow is when we are out of our comfort zone, when we're not comfortable as well. So this is the number 1 thing why most people don't do it, is just comfortability and being scared to take the leap and obviously risk the money that they're investing. The second reason is people quit too early, okay? So they'll do, 2 weeks or a month and they'll say, all right, this isn't working. I feel like I'm just throwing money away. Like, people just quit after the first 2 weeks to 30 days. If they do go ahead and take that leap, they're like, I'll go back to what I was doing before, I'll figure out something else. Like, people just quit too early before they start seeing results. Because I guarantee you, anyone that's stuck with marketing for over 3 months has seen results and has started getting more clients for their business. You just have to give it at least 90 days of actually trying, testing, seeing what's working before you can actually start seeing results, because you can't reap rewards without putting any of the work or having the actual skill to do it, which leads me on to number 3. If you just wing it, try and do it yourself, like you don't have the skills to actually market, know what you're doing with Facebook ads, if you don't have the funnel in place, the system in place, then you might get a few leads, you might get no leads at all. But the main thing is, it is a skill you have to learn. You have to know what you're doing. You can't throw money at Meta and expect results, as I said before. So big 3 things is they're scared to change, they quit too early, or they actually don't just have the skills to go ahead and do it. So if this is something you want to do, if it's something you're interested in, after this video you can go ahead and learn the skills to do it yourself, or you can get someone to do it for you. Yeah, but I hope that all makes sense. I hope I didn't bore you too much with all the numbers, but this is stuff we have to understand if we want to make a change, if we want to grow our trade businesses. Okay, so I hope it was helpful, hope it was valuable. If you enjoyed it, just leave a like, subscribe. I'll be posting a lot more videos like this. But one more thing. See, I'm going to put like a little snippet at the end of the video basically explaining that this is what I do. Like, I help trade businesses put in marketing systems, make their ads, everything like that. So it's not something to press you into doing it. If you genuinely don't have the time or the skills to do it yourself and you want someone to do it for you, then just watch the little video that's about to play. But if you want to learn it yourself, then literally just subscribe. I'm going to be making as many videos as I can in order to teach people how to do it themselves. But the ones that genuinely don't have the skills or the time, then just watch the end snippet and that will kind of explain a little bit more. If you're a trade business owner in the UK and you're not growing from Meta ads because you don't have the time, the skills, or the interest to make it work yourself, then we can do it for you. We can run your ads, build a whole system behind it so you can focus on growing the business instead of working inside of it. Now, we only take on 5 trade businesses per month because we only want to work with a small amount to make sure we get the best results possible for each one we do work with. So if you do want someone to do it for you, you can click the first link in the description. You can book a call with me. If it lets you, then I've got space. If it doesn't, then I'll give you a shout when I do. But yeah, book a call and we'll see if it makes sense to work together.